Good evening. Tonight we're going to be making a stuffed acorn squash. On here, on my pan, you can see that I have my acorn squash, which I cut in half, and I took all the seeds out. I'm now going to take my brush and brush the outside of the skin and then the inside flesh. You want to make sure you get it really covered. I'm going to do both sides. And with olive oil. And then we're going to put salt and pepper on it. So I'm going to put salt and pepper only on the inside, because you're not going to eat the outside, obviously. And then you're going to put some pepper on there. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is, let me just get that out of the way. I'm going to flip them over. I've got my oven preset at 400. We're going to let it cook at 400 for 45 minutes or until a fork goes through the top. So let me put those in the oven. And while that was, before I did the squash, I cooked off my pinoli nuts. I browned them in the 350-degree oven for like 6 minutes just to get those toasted, because those are going to go inside the squash with the squash flesh and the ground turkey and the pinoli nuts and parsley. So I'll see you back here in 45 minutes. Okay, our squash is done. This is how it looks on this side. We're gonna flip it over and let that cool for a minute. On my stove, I have my oil heated up for my turkey. I'm gonna put my 1 pound of turkey breast in here, and then I'm going to break it up into pieces. The smaller pieces than what it is. I'm going to take this tool that I used before. You can use a wooden spoon, whatever works for you. So we're going to break this up and let this start to cook. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to take this flesh, part of the flesh out of here, and put it into a separate bowl, because we're going to mix this all together. So I'm going to take about 1/3 of the flesh out of there and put it into a bowl. Okay, and we're going to let that save. So as soon as the turkey's done, I'll go back to the next step. Okay, the turkey's been cooking about 2.5 minutes. It's just about brown. I'm going to add 1 small onion that's been diced, and 2 cloves of garlic. We're going to give that a stir and let that cook for probably 2 minutes until the onion starts to get translucent. So another 2 minutes and the onions will take care of that. Okay, we're going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. We're going to add some salt and pepper to this. And about a teaspoon of salt, maybe half teaspoon, however you like. I don't like a lot of salt because I cook for people that don't usually use a lot of salt. I'm going to give that a stir. And I'm going to add my toasted pine nuts, which is about 2 tablespoons toasted that we toasted earlier. We're going to give that a stir. And then we're going to take it off the heat. Let me just shut this off. I'm going to take this off the heat, and we're going to add the flesh that we took out from the squash, and 1/2 of our Parmesan cheese. And then we're going to give it a stir. Try to mix it all in. There wasn't a lot of flesh in these acorn squash. Sometimes the bigger ones you get have a lot more flesh. This just doesn't happen to have a lot of flesh. So we're going to take this and we're going to stuff it into the cavities of our squash. You can heap it up nice. And then you're going to put the rest of the cheese on top of it. You're gonna split it between the two. And then you're going to put some parsley on top. Okay, we're gonna put that in the oven, and we're gonna cook it for another 5 minutes just so it gets cooked inside. So we're gonna put it in the 400-degree oven again for like 5 minutes so it heats through and all the cheese melts. Let me get the other mitt here. And we're gonna put this in the oven. See you in 5. Okay, they're all cooked. I'm just gonna drizzle a little olive oil on top of them, and they're all set to go. Enjoy your meal. See you next week.